You're welcome to another edition on your darling station, Honorable TV, where we are talking about our environment and health sector across the globe. And today we have one of our dignitaries, not just ordinary dignitary, that will be taking us around the world of health and the incoming flood that we are about to experience in the world naturally. My name is Bello Omotude, your anchor, and you know how we do it on Honorable TV, where we bring personalities to your view every edition that we come your way. And today I am in the office of the man we call the doctor himself, but he is a great health personnel. We call him Dr. Cyril Akinyele. He's with us this morning in the heart of Ifakoijayi local government. That's the health, the H.O.D, Environment and Health Service in Ifakoijayi, and we'll be taking us around the coming flood and the preparation ahead of it in Ifakoijayi. Good morning, Dr. Cyril.
Good morning, sir.
It's a pleasure having you on our show this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yes, to get into the business of the day, Dr. Cyril, can you please give us a little introduction about yourself?
Thank you very much. I'm Sanitarian Dr. Cyril Akinyele. I'm the Director for Environmental Health in the Ifakoijayi local government of the Primary Care Board, the second year by the Primary Care Board, and as well the State President of Environmental Health Officers Association of Nigeria. I'm a fellow of West African Postgraduate College of Environmental Health. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can see we have a big fish for you this episode, where we have a man of many honors and dignitaries, and he has really studied deep into our discussion of today, and that is talking about health. Dr. Cyril, there's a publication that is out that the forthcoming rainfall will surely bring in more floods. Do you agree with that publication?
Yes, very much. Since last year, we have gotten the wind that the rainfall that we'll be having this year is going to be much, and this is as a result of the climate change. The level of evaporation of water is higher, and when it's going to rainfall back, it's going to be much more than what the soil can absorb, and thereby leading to flooding. Because when we have a heavy rainfall, the absorption of the soil and the drainages determines the rainfall. If it is higher than the volume and the capacity for the soil to absorb, then there will be flooding.
There will be flooding. Thank you for really taking us through. And now going deep into Lagos State, where you are the president, and Lagos is in the water environment.
Yeah.
What should Lagosians be expecting?
Lagos is an aquatic environment. Up to about 80% of landed surroundings of Lagos are water. And the level of water within Lagos is very high. And Lagos State should expect more rainfall. As I said earlier on, the evaporation of water is going to be very high, and the rainfall is going to be very high. And we have the water table of Lagos State is very high. And we are within the rain season. If it's a state that the water table is not high from the onset, you can see easily when it rains, the soil absorbed it. But currently Lagos, before you can dig 3 feet, you find water, underground water. Now we are during the rain season. The table of the water table is very, very high. So when we now have rainfall that is very high, Lagosians should prepare for the flooding, especially some areas that are prone to flooding. Highlands. By the word saying islands was surrounded by water. The water table is very high. We expect that. And some areas where we're going to have a very strong and big flash floods. So Lagos State should expect that, and we should prepare and we are preparing for the flooding.
Thank you very much. Actually, you were just a little bit ahead by giving us that word, prepare.
Yeah.
Lagos, we have some areas in Lagos that we know they are prone to water density like that. Some years back, we had this crisis along the Kara Bridge, where the soil divided the water.
Yeah.
Now that you are saying the water table is higher, can you please take us what has really happened in that environment and what we should do to guide against this flood?
If you look at Kara, that what happened during that period was a climatic change. The water table climatic change brings about some what we call aquatic plants, which submerge the water down and they form the hard surface. It's different from what we're saying now. If you look at Kara, sometimes you have overflowing of water. What you should prepare for now, because the dam will overflow. What happened at the Kara, where we have overflowing of water very close to the depth of the bridge, was that the dam overflowed during that period. And there was dam around the Osho River basin. When it overflows, before it collapses, the dam, they will release it. And that is the reason why they always tell people living around the shore of that waterways to live as a certain period, that there is going to be flood within social period and social period. That's why we are now making noise that we need people living within that area should relocate, because at the point in time they will open the dam so that it doesn't collapse the dam. That was what happened at that Kara. But let's come back to Lagos State, the heart of Nigeria. I told you the water table is very high. We have various drainages. We have the primary drainage, we have the secondary drainage, and we have the tertiary drainage. All these drainages link each other to the tertiary drainage. And what we do in Lagos State, the primary drainage, the secondary, and the tertiary, the one that belongs to the local governments, which are drainage, let me use for our audience to understand. The one that are within the streets that link the major streets are the responsibility of the local government. For our members to understand, they will be saying that why have they not taken this as the responsibility of the local government? It's not the responsibility of the state. All streets drainages is the responsibility of the local government to desilt. The major roads that links one local government to the other is the responsibility of the state. While that one that links to the canal, which we refer to as tertiary, is still the responsibility of the Lagos, the state government to clear. So it is synergy for us to have free flow of water, rain runoff water. The drainages within our streets must be desilted so that we easily flow into the secondary one, from secondary to the tertiary. Are you with me, sir?
Yeah.
Now, what people are expected to do? You are expected to clean your drainage. Don't wait for government. The local governments are desilting, and people are not expected to block drainages because they want free flow of water without any waste in it. People go and block drainages that are in front of their houses, and thereby doing that, when there are if it is clogged, when you used to block it get clogged, there will be flooding, back flooding. So people are expected to remove any barrier for free flow of water, and our people should desist from discharging their waste, especially when it rains. The culture we have been going around doing the sensitization that don't turn your drainages to be your refuse dump. So all these things we are doing within the Department of Environmental Services, the environmental officer who knows as sanitarians, I've been going round all the wards in the local governments, 57 and the local government. I can speak for sanitarians in Lagos State, in particular in Fakojai. They'll be going around sensitizing community. I have with me a program that is coming up very soon, and that program is talking about waste management challenges and importance and with solution. And all these things are program of one of the councillors in the Fakojai local government in synergy with the department. If you maintain a very good hygienic environment through proper waste disposal, our drainage will be flowing perfectly. So all these things are what we put in place within Lagos, but we need Lagosians to know that their health is their wealth. A healthy environment is a wealthy environment.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Dr. Cyril, for really taking us deep into this education, because I call it a means of educating our people back home. And I know our listeners are really watching this and they are learning from it. But let's bring you back to your constituency, Ifakojai, precisely.
Thank you.
There are some areas in Ifakojai that we've experienced flood in the past. Let me give an instance. Maybe you can educate us on how to work on that. The road between Imola, that Imola axis expression going to Agegeju area. When it's rain, it's always flooded. Is that the duty of the local government or the state government? So who can we approach, and what can be done to that environment from from flood taking over?
Thank you very much. It's the adjoining streets that links the main roads. Drainages are responsibilities of the local government, but that main road itself is the responsibility of the state. But that doesn't mean they're not doing it. But what we have, I told you, that we always have what we call flash flood. If you look at it, that flood that you see there, within 2 hours, it will go down and it won't see it again. What causes it is that the rainfall is higher than the capacity of the drainages. The drainages are constructed with the normal rainfall that we always have them before we have this climate change. The climate change has now turned the whole thing. The rainfall we are now having is higher than our expectation for the construction of that drainage. The drainage has been constructed. If you look at those drainage, they are very clean. They've been desilted. So what we always have there, Lagosians should just know that because we are very prone to flooding because of our water table in such an area, because of this climate change that has turned everything, we will be having what we call flash floods. So this flash floods, what we just need our people to do is that at that period, people should stay back for it to get itself lower down. It will surely go.
Thank you very much for that wonderful education. And there are still some areas in Ifakojai that we visited in the past, and we saw one or two. Let me make use of Orimolade as an example. If you are going towards the tail end before the entrance of Abiui, there's a little gorge, and we notice some refuse dumps in that area. And you know, when water is flowing down, it goes into into the canal directly, and a lot of buildings are on that path. How can we find a solution to that area and for health issues?
Thank you very much. As we all know, some gorges are natural made. It's not man. We have man-made gorges, and we have natural gorges. The one that originally is natural. People are not expected to dump refuse, and that is the reason why the environmental health officer of Ifakojai local government, the private sector participation in refuse collection and disposal, the PSP, the Community Development Association, the CDC, CDA, we came together and decided that we must put an end to indiscriminate dumping of refuse in that gorge. They might seem that they want to fill the gorge, but not knowing that they are destroying the aesthetics of the environment they are endangering public health, because within that gorge, there are some people have built around that area, and the emission of offensive odor coming from the gorge will affect public health. So what we're trying to do is to enforce payments of refuse houses without paying their PSP. Those people dumping, you cannot be paying for your PSP operators and be dumping. That shows that they have not been paying, and that's why they always want to take away their enemy from their compound. What is the enemy? Your waste. So for them to get the enemy away from their compound, they want to go and dump it somewhere. And we are now full force on enforcement for our tenements around that area to show us the proof of payment of the refuse collection. Then if you find a payment that is not your house, you cannot be paying and be taking your refuse to that gorge. Houses that have not been paying are responsible for that, and enforcement is on it. Immediately we cannot just go and clean it off or control it, but let's first find what is the problem, identify the source of the problem, then we go and clean the mess off. So we are working on that.
Thank you very much for that. We also have areas at the upper side. There's a Uyemekun, Dada, and the likes. What is the plan for the drainage in that environment, most especially Dada streets?
Last year we desilted Dada, and because of the attitude and ways of our people on environment, we believe the environment is for all. We can do whatever we like in the environment. People have dumped again. Dada has been scheduled for the next 2 weeks. Next month, that's September, to desilt these areas that we have. They've been listed, and approval has been given by his honorable chairman of our local government, who is working to make sure that Ifakoja is clean and healthy. So that is one of those areas that we just did some last week, and some are coming up again to be done by next month. So we are going to desilt Dada and some adjoining that we have found that it links to other areas, so that there will not be backflow of wastewater.
Thank you very much. You've just been giving us this information that areas have been distilted and moved around. Thank you very much for really having us, and it's a worthy time hanging out with you on this episode. And on this note, we will be wrapping up our interview with Dr. Cyril. He has really educated us. In fact, I am honored to be tutored under his leadership, and we hope when we knock at your door, you will surely open it for us again. Yes, the program is coming up September 9th at Ifakoja local government, where a lot will be discussed, and we want the CDAs to please come around so that they can as well learn one or two things in the coming days for the flood that we are all expecting in Lagos. Everybody wants to stay in Lagos, and the water table, let me use the language of Dr. Cyril, the water table is high, so we need to plan ahead of the flood that is coming. I am Bello Omotunde, and I want to say thank you, Dr. Cyril,
thank you very
for
much.
Really having us.
This is having you too.
Thank you very much. This to the secondary drainage that Dr. Cyril talked about along Agege Road, so that when you are driving, you surely understand the way to go by. The signage, like Dr. Cyril said, will be up in areas, and we hope you follow the signage. Don't break laws. Let us learn to clean our environment. Have a wonderful time.